Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a build in Oasis Springs, and for this build I started to get inspired for the build because I was looking at Tuscan villas, and then I realized that I kind of want to make something a little bit more summery and beachy. So the name of the lot says Tuscan Villa, but for the most part it's going to be slightly Mediterranean inspired and beachy desert build. And I started with a simple exterior because I wanted to kind of go back in later and figure out the details. I just wanted the general shape to be figured out first, and I put those plants on the exterior, but now I'm realizing it looks a little bit jungle-ish, so I think we do get rid of some of that later. But here we're just putting some lights, and this build took me I think about 10 hours in total. I was up until 5 in the morning working on it, and not even 5, I think like 7:30 in the morning I was working on this build. And it took me so long to go through, do all the editing, speed it up, and I took out a lot of parts that were not really fun to watch, so you don't really get to see the very beginning. You kind of just, I started the video with like already the windows in the front there, and yeah, I just thought it would be more interesting this way, and it also would make the video a lot shorter. And I don't know if this build is necessarily very affordable. It's around 100,000 simoleons, which in game it's kind of hard to rack up all that money, I think. I've definitely done it before. I have a couple sim families that I've been playing that I've had make a lot of money, usually using like the writing or the painting skill and career, because you also get to work from home and you just make a lot of more money that way. Anyway, here you're gonna see me be, well, in this entire video actually, you're gonna see me be extremely indecisive, and you should know that that's how I always am. Every build that I do, that's why I was a little bit hesitant on making speed build videos, but I was so in love with how it came out that I just had to share it with you guys. Like, I was recording, taking my time because I didn't really think that I would make a speed build for it. So that's why the videos are going to be in 2 parts, because each of them turned out to be 30 minutes. Like, each part turned out to be 30 minutes because, you know, it was 5 hours long and I had to speed it up, and sometimes it was too fast if I tried to cramp it into one video. So that's why it'll be in 2 parts. The first one is the exterior, and then we get started on the living room. And then in the second one, we actually just do the interior, I think. And then we touch up the outside a little bit. But here I was playing with making the wall height taller because I wanted to I wanted it to be like an airy home. I was kind of imagining like a breeze running through, even though, yes, it is a desert. And I haven't actually played in Oasis Springs that much, I'm not gonna lie. I played it when Sims 4 first came out. I played in one of like the mid-century modern homes, but I just got bored of it. I don't know why. I feel like when it first came out, Oasis Springs before Seasons, I guess, it seemed a little bit more boring to me. And the other world just seemed a lot more active, and I don't know, it just seemed more lively, I guess. But now that we have some seasonal variation in Oasis Springs, I'm definitely a lot more excited to play in it. So the idea for this build came to me while I was in Create a Sim. I was creating Sims, kind of thinking about I was making Sims to put into my Seasons Let's Play, and then I ended up making this family that I was so happy with that I decided to make a new Let's Play or play on my own time. So I still haven't decided, but the the house is just perfect for them. So I may decide to make it a Let's Play. I'm not sure yet. I think it's more fun that way. Sometimes with my current households, which I have quite a few, I'll get kind of caught up in the game and I'll play for days, meaning that they're just making money, they're doing dishes or showering, like not really like that interesting of storylines, I guess. Like I'll do it, but it's not as constant as if it was an LP. So that's kind of why I want to make it one. And also I want to share this house with you guys and I want to play in it. So I think it would be really interesting. I'm thinking that the seasons will also be a part of, like it'll be on the channel, but I'll have 2 Let's Plays going. I'll keep making speed builds. And I also want to start making themed creative sim videos. I think I just get so inspired, like by worlds. I get inspired by just like builds, you know, and I also get inspired by like the things I'm watching. Recently I've been we watched Mamma Mia last night, and I saw like the Greek builds and I was like, okay, I need to make like a Greek inspired white and blue coastal build, but we'll see if it actually happens. And because the foundation on this house is kind of high, the plants weren't staying like on the edge of the build, so that was kind of frustrating. And so we're doing the stairs. I put the stairs here to begin with, but I couldn't figure out why it didn't have like the wall on the back. When I'm pulling out some stairs here, you can seeing that others have it, and I guess I realized that this one doesn't, which I don't know. I feel like it'd be better if it did, because I don't really like the look of like floating stairs unless it's like a super modern build, which this is definitely not. And I doubt that like concrete, which I'm assuming it's concrete stairs wouldn't hold up like that, you know, like on its own. So I ended up putting it there anyway because that was the one that I think fit the build the most. But we do end up moving it because I realized that with the stairs being there, it goes up to like the little patio area, and I wanted it to be indoors. So we do end up moving the stairs. Now I'm trying to make the house a little bit bigger because I realized it was too small. The house that I'm building the Sims for is a 4-person household, so ideally it would be like a 3-bedroom build, and it just wasn't cutting it. I like to have big spacious rooms, and I like to have like a big spacious kitchen, so that's why we're kind of playing with the exterior now. I mean, the integrity of the build still I think holds, but I think it's a little less affordable. It's also a little less homey. I don't know. I like the build. I love how it turned out, but it's not like a small cute villa. It's like a nice, like, people that live here you would assume are pretty wealthy. So we did a little extension on the house there, and we also moved it to a bigger lot because the lot that it was on was too small for me to really extend the build, and I wanted more room later on because I may do like a outdoor garden area. I also want them to have a big pool because I would want to have a big pool if I lived in Oasis Springs, where it's hot all the time. I live in Colorado, which it's pretty, you have like a pretty temperate summer, although it's been really hot lately, but in the winter it's pretty cool. So I don't really feel the need for a pool, but I mean, it'd be nice. I'm not gonna say no if somebody was like, do you want a pool? But here I'm trying to put some columns, and I end up deleting the 4 columns and just like leaving the ones that are by the fence. But I thought that this little side patio area could be really cute for like yoga or some other sports activities. So I did that, and I really wanted the windows to be in like a little nook because I wanted to put those little fences around it, and I think it looks really good in the end. I think it turned out really well. But now we're just moving some of the windows because everything got distorted, and I realized that these pink flowers don't really work, so we do end up moving that. And I'm gonna keep saying that in this build because I was so indecisive, but the one thing that I didn't change was the little flowers in front of the windows. I think I actually nailed it the first try, which never happened, so I was very surprised. But everything else, don't get too attached to it when you see it because I end up changing or moving or getting rid of a lot of different things. Mostly for the interior, I guess. The exterior kind of stays the same from now on. But yeah, I think that if anybody enjoys this build, I could see myself making a Let's Play. So that's why I wanted to make sure we have enough space. I wanted everybody that I made in Create a Sims to have a room, because I'm pretty sure that's the family I want to play in here. So here I'm fixing the windows. And this is the first build ever that I actually used those beams that go across, and I never knew how to use them. I didn't know what they were, so I never clicked on them in like the little build mode category. But I was watching, I'm not sure who it was, but the theme was like a winter cabin, and I thought it was a really creative way to put beams on the ceiling, like inside the house. Because you know how in cabins when you look up they have those beams, and I think it makes it look a lot more cozy. But in this particular build, I think it makes it look a lot more beachy. And I think if we had a little bit more flowy curtains in the build, I would 100% use them, but the only ones that I had were custom content, unfortunately. The one thing that I think I could have done a better job in this, I love to criticize myself by also being fair, I guess, but I have those little squares that I had to block off because I think it was going to make the build a lot more difficult to furnish. So yeah, I think next time I'll have to be a little bit more cautious about the sizing, because having like one block by one, like one by one little squares, I think it makes it a little bit I don't know, just like too much going on. Like I want it to be a little bit more calmer, a little bit more simple inside, since there's a lot more like going on the exterior. But in the end, after we get done furnishing, it becomes busy inside too. It's actually the most cluttered house that I think I've ever made. So in this part, we're extending the house towards the left, and I decided that downstairs there would be 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and then the big side of the house on the right, that is going to be the kitchen and the living room. So most of it will be open plan, which is actually my favorite kind of floor plan, I think. And then at the top there, I didn't want to extend the patio, so I ended up squaring it off and creating a greenhouse, which I might actually make a studio, like an art studio later. If I have to play in Oasis Springs and see if the winter is actually mild enough to grow flowers and vegetables and plants. So yeah, we'll see. I haven't looked into it too much, but I'm assuming that the winter in Oasis Springs is temperate enough to grow plants, but we don't know, and we will find out together. So for the seasons Let's Play that I'm doing, sorry I haven't been able to record if you're following it or wanted to see it, but part 3 will be out tomorrow, and in that part, I'm not sure what we'll do, but I do want to put more Sims into the game, because usually I play on rotation, and when I don't play rotationally, I get kind of like, I want Sims to be really social. I guess that's like a really important thing for me in The Sims. I don't like to just make one family and play that family and just make friends with townies. I like to make my own Sims. I like to put them in the game, and then I like to have them all be friends and have a little storyline. So I think that's what I'll do with the seasons too, except it will be seasons themed, obviously. And here I found out where I wanted to put the stairs finally, and we are creating a little loft area. We could technically expand later if the family has more kids, or if you download the house, which I will most likely be putting up. You can make the loft into a whole second floor, and you can add more bedrooms or more bathrooms, whatever your heart desires. And I will upload this to the gallery probably, but the one thing is you have to turn on the custom content or mods little checkbox, because there is one piece of custom content in this build, and that will be the door downstairs to the backyard. So I couldn't find anything that I really liked. Like the arches didn't look good, so I put, well, actually it's not a door, it's a window. It's you could change it to a door if you wanted. It is actually just like a door frame or a window frame, but it's like full, I think. You know what, it might be a door. I might be wrong, we'll see. I don't think I've put it in yet. But here we're just building the greenhouse, which I could change later, but I actually just put those lights in the beginning of builds just to see, but later I like to put more customized lights in the house, because I think those are very generic and I kind of just don't like them. So we do end up changing those later too, just like everything else in this build. Now we're extending the greenhouse and changing the windows, and at the second floor I did make the walls taller. I think it looks better that way. But at the bottom I really like the little windows that are oriental, I guess, and you can see right there in the backyard. I wanted to keep those, and when the walls are taller they look a little off. So that's why I kept those. And also because the columns, you can't, oh, that is one thing I want in an update from the Sims team. I want them to give us the ability to choose column height, because if we can choose wall height and we have columns in the first floor, they are not tall enough. Or if we have a foundation on the first floor and we're trying to put the columns on the ground floor, they don't reach towards the second floor. So I think that's a big oversight, actually. That's something that I experience in just about every build in which I use a column. I'm like, okay, now I have to make another platform or a room to put the columns on, or I have to get rid of the foundation or whatever. So I think it kind of hinders creativity in that way, and I like the Sims to be as creative as possible, because for most people this is their creative outlet, you know? I could not decide on which fireplace to put. That was custom content just then, and we don't end up using it. And even the fireplace, the one that came with Jungle Adventures right there, that's actually the one we end up going with, although I did try a different one for a while until later on. But the couch picking was so long, and this is this is actually the chopped version of it. I cut out like a long part of just going through every single couch, putting it in the living room. Same with rugs and just about everything. That couch that I put right there is it's a career reward, so I think it's in the, I want to say the tech guru career or the criminal career. One of the two unlocks the couch that I just put there. So if you actually enter the cheat to reward or to unlock the rewards, I can't remember what the cheat is, but if you enter it, you can use all those objects, which I didn't even do. It just was unlocked. I'm not sure. I put in a couple cheats. I always put in move objects on and the testing cheats true, and those two must have somehow unlocked it, or it was the fact that this build was done in just buy mode. So one of those three is a factor, and I never used that cheat, but they were just there, so I used them. I wanted to make an accent wall behind the fireplace there, and I couldn't really find like a stone wall that I was like, ooh, this looks nice, but it's also kind of beach. Sorry about the cutoff there. There's a lot of background noise today because everybody's home, all my roommates are here, and my microphone isn't doing a very good job at keeping the background noise away. So if you hear any cutoffs or anything like that, I apologize in advance, but I am going to try to edit a lot of the really loud parts or anything like that. Anyway, now we're trying to put the coffee tables in the living room, but I wasn't really happy with how it was turning out so far. I think something that I will do next time is not start with the living room. I usually start with the kitchen and make my way out, and that's really helped me in the past, but I wanted this to be experimental, and I wanted to try something new. And as I was saying earlier, this is probably the most detailed build I've done so far, so I learned a lot from this, and I think that it made me really excited to make more builds and to post them on the channel. I think I have a lot of ideas to share with you guys, and I just want to keep doing this. I'm actually having a lot of fun having a YouTube channel and I'm just excited for all the things that I want to do. So this week, for the rest of the week, I'm pretty busy, but I will 100% record my seasons Let's Play, at least 2-3 more parts before the weekend is over, and I'll probably pre-record those. And I'm also planning on doing a couple more speed builds this and next week, because I do already have ideas about those. And then next week there's a possibility that I might start on the Let's Play that I was talking about. So yeah, and right now in the build, we're getting kind of, I think, halfway there with the living room. And you know, that's a lie. I think the plants kind of stayed the same. I just kind of moved them around, and the little chairs and the couch kind of stays the same, I think. But the colors changed, like the entire color scheme changes after I created the kitchen. And every time I add more to a build, I always go back and I end up changing stuff because I found something else I like, or I like a new color scheme that I like. So it's an iterative process, and I think it's kind of that way with everybody. Like every build that I watch, it doesn't stay the same until the end, and I think that's cool to watch. You kind of get to see. Oh, you can see me changing the colors there. You can kind of see that. You can see the creative process, and it's not always just like all right, I'm putting this down here and it's gonna stay that way, So that's kind of, I didn't want to edit it out too much because those are kind of the fun parts for me to see, like, oh, maybe I should have kept it like that, or that's really working out. Like, I'm glad that I changed it. So if you're not really into that kind of thing, you could skip towards the end. This part, since it's the first part, it's not going to have the screenshots, but those will be in the next video. So if you'd like, you can wait until that one, and then you can just see the screenshots. So here I'm trying to make the kitchen. I was trying to put a half wall there and then put a glass trim on top, but it looked a little too modern, and I wanted it to be a little bit cuter, so we do get rid of those walls there. But at this point, I kind of have it figured out where everything's gonna go, except what I didn't notice is somehow I didn't catch it in this part either. The stairs. We're like, where did they go? I don't remember where they went, and I thought I put them down where they needed to be. So when I'm doing the kitchen or I'm doing the dining area, I completely forgot about the stairs. So later on, I'm like, oh shoot, like I put down stuff and now I need to like move everything because I forgot that the stairs were supposed to be there. So I'm not sure why they disappeared, but they did. And I didn't notice. So that was fun to deal with. You know, there's always challenges and builds, and I think that when you do it, like when you have an idea that you want to achieve and you finally finish the build, it's like such a relief. It was like 7:30 in the morning when I finished it, and I took like amazing screenshots, and when I was trying to go to sleep afterwards, I was just like, I just want to live in that house, you know? Like, I get kind of too wrapped up in the game, like in the buildings and the places or whatever, and sometimes I'm like, wow, I wish I lived there. And then you go back to real life and you're like, yeah, in reality I am a college student, like our house is not this nice and clean. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of I think that's what makes it fun, you know, you get to get away from your problems a little bit, and yeah, a little heart to heart with you guys. I think that's always why I love The Sims. It's always like a little escape from whatever problem you're having, or it's a new way to make friends, or just let your creative juices flow. It's cool to see that there's a lot of different types of like EA game changers or creators in general. Like, some people are really good at speed builds, some of them just love create a sim or they upload sims, and some of us do it all, you know? I mean, it's not everybody, but when you can do it all, I think it's great. Like, the more creative you can be, or the more creative you are, like, good for you. I'm not. I definitely know that I have like some weak areas, but everybody does, so it's okay. And I love those little curtains there that we're putting on the door. They make it look so beachy, and I actually have not used them in a while. The first time I used them was like when I think it first came out, but I used it in like a bedroom next to the mirror. It was like next to a vanity, and now I realize that you can actually use it by doors or windows, so I think it'll be really fun to play. I'm wondering if Sims can get through it. I'm not really sure, because yeah, it seems like it's kind of in the way, isn't it? So this house has not been play tested yet. I will maybe do that, but that's if I decide to upload it to the gallery. So most likely I will be play testing it when I have my Let's Play, which is okay. I mean, if it doesn't work, just gotta go into build mode real quick and take it out. So we're doing the backyard a little bit. I was thinking, I was going through the buy mode, and every time I found something that doesn't go with the kitchen, but it would go good with somewhere else in the house, I would always just, I would move it to the like other rooms in the house. That way I can find them later. Because I'm going to forget. Like, if I find them now and I just delete it, I'm not going to remember that I liked it. So that's why I just pop things right in, and then I can come back to them later on. I was trying to decide what to put in that little corner, since we decided not to put the reading corner there. So I was kind of having trouble finding what to do there, but I think in the end it works out really nicely. I got a little bit industrial and put something that came with Dine Out, which you will see soon. Oh, and I recently just bought the backyard stuff pack. So I've never actually used those little wind chimes. And I don't know, do they make a sound? I'm actually really excited to see, because I noticed that in game you can change the pitch, but I've never actually heard it. So I don't know, like, I tried to click on it, I tried to change the pitch, but I still couldn't hear anything. So if I'm doing something wrong and you know how it works, feel free to comment and let me know, because I really want to know. And I think, oh, these chairs that came with backyard stuff are also so cute. This is actually one of the packs the stuff packs that I'm really happy with. I think Laundry Day, obviously, because it was a community pack, I knew that one would be great because they were so transparent, like the whole process. But backyard stuff and what else was it? I actually really like toddler stuff too. And yeah, I think those two stuff packs are probably the best ones. They add a lot of cute things to the game, and since I recently purchased them, I'm really excited that I'm finally using them for a build. With these pool colors, I was thinking that there would have been a darker swatch. I don't know why I thought there would be. I was kind of hoping it would be like dark turquoise, but this is the closest that we got, so I'm still happy with it. I think it looks cute. And I was gonna put plants on there, but I thought it would be a little bit too jungly, so I didn't end up using those either. Here, just popping some lights around. This next part that you're about to see is the biggest struggle. Trying to flip those like light poles around is so annoying because they don't want to comply. They do whatever the hell they want. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, it took me a little bit to find just the light pole to begin with, and I had to like search for it, and then I decided to just type it in. But even when I do find it, you have to make sure that they're actually touching, because one perspective you think, oh yeah, like that's in the right place, and then you flip the camera around and it's like one grid square off or something like that. So that took me a little bit, but I didn't want to cut it out because in the end I think it looks pretty. And if you haven't tried making these like light squares with just the poles, I'm sure everybody has, but I just wanted to see that, like I just want you guys to see that it's not very easy. Anyway, we're getting to the end of the video. We're just doing some quick little backyard stuff popping in, and the next part will be out right after this one, I'm hoping. And if you enjoyed this part, please feel free to leave a comment on what you think, and please like and subscribe. See you guys next part.